It seems imminent that a major protest will probably spring up across the United States sometime soon. There have been a lot of minor protests, single-day protests. Those are good. Do those. That's great. But eventually there's going to be a major protest. And it might take the form of Schmenrel Schmeich. Can't really say that, but if you're not sure what I'm talking about, Google Seattle in 1919. But there's a couple of things we should think about before that happens. First of all, I'm not sure when it's going to happen. I think the American people are going to need to feel a lot more pain before they're ready to do a big and sustained strike, and that's what's going to be necessary. But when it does happen, we can learn a couple of lessons from the Occupy Wall Street movement. Now, even though Occupy Wall Street failed to meet any of its demands, it did a couple of things that were very good. First of all, it put the idea of the 99% in our head, which is still there. That's good. It put the idea of a large, sustained strike in our head. Occupy Wall Street happened 14 years ago, and we still remember it, and we're going to have to do it again. But there's three lessons we can learn from what Occupy Wall Street did wrong. Lesson one is have a clear leader. You need one person who can distill the message and who can be the person that is negotiated with. Occupy Wall Street did have a clear leader at first, but then he got lost in the shuffle when they formed coalitions and they allowed everybody to have their voice, and pretty soon it was this unclear message, which leads me to lesson number two, which is to have very clear demands. They need to be simple, they need to be measurable, and they need to be possible. The Occupy Wall Street movement had a whole bunch of unclear, vague demands that weren't measurable and laughably impossible. And pretty soon everybody just started seeing them as a bunch of whiners. And the third lesson is to control the message. The movement needs to have a very simple hook that preferably encapsulates the demands or encapsulates the pain we're going to create if you don't meet our demands. Occupy Wall Street was pretty much dominated by the media, and we need to flip that, and the movement needs to dominate the media.